So you want to go to a convention. Hello, internet people and people of the femboy army. It is me, Kirakaya, here with a non-cosplay video, kind of. So, you probably clicked on this video because you're just like, I've always wondered what it's like at a convention. How I can go there and just waste all my money. Well, you came to the right place, because today I'm going to tell you how to prepare for a convention, because, yeah, it's absolute pain if you don't know what you're doing. Alright, so first off, you want to do some research. Honestly, just Google up conventions near me. Now, if you don't know about any conventions that are around you, like honestly, the internet is your best source because I can't really tell you where you can find them, but you can use the internet. You could use word of mouth if you know someone who has gone to conventions before in your area or like about that. Then yeah, you just go right ahead, look that stuff up. You'll probably be able to find some stuff. There are Facebook groups for that kind of stuff. There's Discord servers, all that good stuff. So if you look around, ask around, you'll probably find something in your area if you don't know how to look or like where to look first. So Google is your best friend. Remember that. Now, if you want to go to your first convention and it's like, I don't know, you have to fly there or take a very long trip, there are some really big ones, but honestly, you might be better off just going to a small one just to see kind of like what conventions are about. Because if you go to a big one, like say AX, PAX East, all that stuff, you might get overwhelmed very, very easily. So I would stick to like local conventions. Like the local convention near me is called Zenkai Con. That's like not too far away from me. It's a small local convention. There's still lots of people go there, nice vendors, panels, all the normal convention stuff. So if you go to a local convention, you're going to get the bits of a bigger convention, except just in a smaller, more tight package with a bit less stuff there, but you'll still get the gist of it. Now, second off, if you found a convention that you want to go to, then buy those tickets. Because honestly, I recommend doing all this stuff like months in advance, because some conventions, well, a lot of conventions actually, if you go on their websites, you can actually pre-order the tickets and or passes or whatever, and they're usually a lot cheaper than at the door rate. So honestly, I would highly recommend looking in advance for conventions and then booking in advance. So that way you don't have to pay at the door rate, you're not waiting in line for a million hours, and you're paying a lot less. So hey, because I got my Otakon badge here. Whole reason why I'm making these videos, just because, you know, this is coming up. I can see it's a nice holographic badge. These badges are really pretty. I love them. But I got that in the mail because I pre-registered. I think I paid like, I don't know, like 55 bucks and it was for the entire weekend. So that's right now $65 for the whole weekend because I missed the window. Now that actually makes me, did I actually pay like 55 for this, or did I pay like 85? I don't know, but still way cheaper than at the door rates. So, and you'll just get this usually directly mailed to you, or you have to pick it up, but usually the pickup lines are usually a bit quicker than registering at the con. So that's still a quicker option if you do pre-register and you have to pick it up. But honestly, this is the best way to go if you get these mailed to you, if you book like way in advance. Because usually with these badges that they mail to you, you can just register on them online, like scan the code or whatever, go to link or whatever, and just register them online, and you are good to go. So yeah, now you have your con badges. Now you'll need to look for a place to stay. Now, if it's a local con to you and it's like a short drive away or something, you don't really need to worry about booking an hotel or anything like that, unless you just want to be right there for some reason. Which, again, if it's a local con that's not too far, you don't need a hotel. You really don't need a hotel. Trust me, you'll save a lot of money that way. But if you are farther away from a con and you don't want to just go for one day and you want to stay for like the entire weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that kind of stuff, you're going to have to get a hotel. Now, what I highly recommend is checking out Facebook groups, Discord, stuff like that. Honestly, I would recommend grabbing a group of at least 3 or 4 people and get a hotel room, because hotels can be very, very expensive, especially if you're staying in a bigger city like Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Boston. So it can be very expensive. Like when I went to PAX East, I went alone and it was like $800 for the hotel alone. And that was like for 4 days, I think. So honestly, highly recommend you get a bunch of people to join your hotel. So that way you're paying as little as possible, and also just it's a better time than just being sad and alone. And as well as a hotel, if you get a flight, so if you want to play it on the safe side, you can book a flight months in advance, if not a year in advance or whatever. But as the date gets closer to whenever you want to go to somewhere, the prices are usually cheaper for some reason from what I've noticed. So if you book in advance, you're guaranteeing your spot, but you're paying more. But if you go like, I don't know, like say, if you book it a month ahead of time, you're paying much less usually. So if you want to take a risk and wait until then, you might not be able to get a seat on the plane if you wait that long. But if you do and you manage to get a seat, well, you just scored a pretty decent deal.
Or get a train, they're cheaper.
And honestly, I recommend using trip sites like Trivago and all that stuff because sometimes they can give you a discount on board and flight if you get like a combo package. That's what I did for Boston. I saved I think like $200-300 doing that, so that's pretty good. Also see if whatever hotel you go to has a discount. So some hotels have discounts for the convention itself. Like there's a discount when the convention goes on, so that way rooms are a little cheaper. But you can also get other discounts if the hotel's a little farther away because sometimes hotels get booked instantly. Like for Katsu this year, it was like the hotel was sold out instantly. Like not even like 10 minutes, it was sold out. So sometimes, depending on the con, these things get insane. So yeah, if you get a hotel, just get a bunch of people. I think it's costing me like $210 to go down for Otakon for 3 days. So that's really good. I'm in a room of 4 people, so that is the kind of difference you are looking at. It is a big difference. And also another thing, if you're under 21, you may have trouble finding your own hotel room. So I would recommend if you're under 21 to just like find someone who is at least 21 or like look in these groups, see if someone has a hotel available. Because I got very lucky for PAX because most of the hotels, they only allow people who are over 21 to book. So I found a hotel which allowed me to book as long as I got a parental consent form signed and emailed to them. So you may be able to get something like that, but a lot of hotel chains, they won't really do that. But shout out to the Hilton Garden near Boston Logan Airport for that because they saved me big time. Yeah, just keep that stuff in mind. So just book as far in advance as possible for hotels, especially if it's a big con. If it's a smaller con, you can probably get away with maybe like booking like a month ahead of time or something. Make sure you do that. But then, okay, so you got your travel figured out, you got your hotel figured out, you got your badges, and now you're ready to go to the convention. But what do I do? So there's a few things you want to bring to the convention. So you want to bring a bag because you're going to be buying merch, whether that be anime figures, prints, keychains, whatever. So you're going to be buying stuff. So make sure you have a place to put it so that way you're not carrying it. And so that way it's just on your back and you're not feeling any stress about it. Second, bring some deodorant because sometimes conventions can get very packed and crowded. So you want to, and you're going to stink because especially if it's like summer heat, that kind of stuff, you are going to start sweating and it is going to stink. So bring some spray deodorant or whatever. Keep yourself fresh. Make sure you shower because no one wants a stinky ass bit walking around their con. All right, it ain't good. It's not good. And if you're a cosplayer, bring along a bag holding boyfriend or girlfriend or however you call it. I don't know the term, but just get someone to hold your bag for you because it gets annoying from experience. You're carrying around your bag and people come up to you and they want a picture. So make sure you have someone who's able just to hold your bag for you so you're not constantly having to put it down over and over again. And what I recommend is bring cash. Now, if you do, it's fine to bring a debit card because most booths and vendors, they do take cards. But in order to limit your spending and prevent yourself from becoming a black hole of financial ruin, you might want to bring some set cold hard cash. That way you're more conscious on what you're spending and you're more picky and choosy on what you spend it on, so that way you're not breaking the bank. Because yes, it's good to buy a lot of anime merch, especially when you don't have any, but you want to limit yourself so that way you don't kill your pocket and you can't pay your rent for the next 5 years. So bring cash, but also make sure you have your debit card just in case, whether or not like that cash gets lost, stolen, whatever. Just keep those two things separated from each other so that way They're not in the same spot. Because one gets lost, you have the other. And also, the card might become more tempting. And if you're a vlogger, of course, just bring your camera bag. Make sure that you're watching your position while you're filming, so that way you're not running into people. And if you are a cosplayer, I know, the con crunch, it happens. It is all over the place. It is wild, it is insane, it is stressful. Try your best to plan your cosplays ahead of time. Way ahead of time. Because if you make your own cosplays, give yourself like about a couple months at least extra. So that way you make sure you have the time to finish making your cosplay. And if you're buying cosplay like I do, from like Doki Doki Cosplay, Uwo Cosplay, I don't know how to fucking say it, Hero Stein, print costumes, wherever, you might want to just order those like 6 months in advance at least. Especially if you buy like a Doki Doki SSR cosplay. Honestly, schedule that for a year ahead. Because my Mona cosplay is like in the works right now, and that's on a crunch. And so I'm supposed to get a review out on that probably after Otakon, because it's at the tailors right now. It got to me on like the first week of July, because I've been waiting on it for 7 to 8 months. 7 to 8 months I've been waiting on that thing. So the wait times on these things get absolutely ridiculous. So make sure you plan this stuff way ahead of time, especially when you buy cosplays. So that way you're not forcing yourself to stress over crunch or anything like that. And if a cosplay somehow doesn't get there in time, it's not what you expected, something's broken on it that you need to fix or whatever, make sure that you got yourself some backup just in case it fails. Because if you have backups, you don't have to stress as much as something failing or not making it in time. If you have those backups, you still have something to bring to the con. So don't worry, just make sure you get backups, order your things ahead of time, and then you should be okay. And then make sure you pack your bag well. Now what you want, of course, like it's like a lot of trips mostly. You want a few change of clothes, you want your deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste. Sometimes now a lot of hotels supply their own soaps and stuff, so you may be able to skip out on soap, but I personally like bringing my own soap. I like how it smells, I like using it, it makes my skin feel nice, so I bring my own soaps and shampoos. That's me personally. Normally you don't have to if you're staying at a decent hotel, but again, I just prefer it because I like my stuff a lot better than hotel stuff, but it's there. And of course, pack your cosplays efficiently, make sure you're packing everything in an orderly fashion, and I recommend, like, when you're there, you pack away your stuff after you're done using it right away, so that way whenever it comes time to leave the con or a convention or whatever, you can just like get your stuff and go. You don't have to worry about packing everything, making sure you have it all, because while you're there, you were putting things away after you use them, so you'd be set. And of course, if you bring wigs, I would bring hairspray as well as like possibly wig shampoo, whatever products you use. And if you're flying, don't worry, most companies allow you to bring like spray cans of like toiletries and stuff, including hairspray and body spray. They usually allow that on your checked baggage, so if you get on a flight for a con, just put that stuff in your checked baggage. It'll go right through. Don't even worry about it. If you'd like, you can check out the TSA's guidelines on like how much you can bring, like that kind of stuff. So if you want to see that, I'll have a link down to the TSA's website below, so that way you can make sure that what you're able to bring is able to be brought. Now, I've heard of some cosplayers shipping their cosplays and like cosplay props all the way to their hotel. I don't know how that works, but apparently you can do it. I don't want to do that, but that's me personally. But if you have a very large cosplay prop, you might just have to ship it to your hotel unless you like want like 50 checked baggages. That ain't gonna work out. So honestly, just if you got large accessories, you got like an armored cosplay that has like a lot of pieces that needs to be put in like bins or something, you might be better off having to ship it to your hotel or Airbnb or wherever you're staying. And when you're taking pictures of cosplayers, and if you like to take pictures of cosplayers, make sure that you ask them. It's always polite to ask, even though like a lot of conventions, they have the rule like photography is allowed, that kind of stuff. Just make sure you ask, it's courteous, it's kind, and you're showing respect to the cosplayer, and just don't really touch. Like there's some cosplayers that will accept that, there's some that won't. I just wouldn't take that risk unless the cosplayer themselves say that it's okay. Just like stay away from like weird areas like the waist, that kind of stuff, because that can get really uncomfortable and that just can get downright weird. So just be careful if you're gonna like touch any cosplayers. Like sometimes it's okay, arm around the shoulder, that's about it. Just be very, very careful about that stuff, and just don't don't be a weirdo. Honestly, it's just better just to ask to take a picture of the cosplayer. And if you want to take a picture with the cosplayer with yourself, then just be next to them. You don't need to touch or anything like that. Just be next to them, fine. Just don't touch. And if you don't have anyone with you to help you take the picture, just ask like any con goer, like if they can help you out. Most con goers, they're very nice. They're very willing to help you out and just help you get the picture with the cosplayer that you really like. And you might want to schedule out how you attend the convention because, of course, like I've said before, there are panels, there are like other events going on. Sometimes there's like after hours type things like dance parties, that kind of stuff. So just check out the convention schedule, usually on their website. Get a schedule together. They should have a list of panels. If you see a panel you like, add it to your schedule so that way you know when to be where, so that way you don't miss it. And sometimes these panels get super packed and they just close the doors and maybe you can't get in. So I would recommend showing up to your panel at least 30 minutes early. If it's a big panel, show up like an hour or two early. And honestly, for restaurants, I'd just walk around, check it out, like see what restaurants are open. If you see like a type of food that you like, go in, just go to a restaurant and just eat, bro. Like you don't really need to research that stuff ahead of time, but if you want to, just look up the restaurants and then see which ones you like. Schedule that for like whatever day if you want to go there for lunch or dinner or whatever. Look that up. Sometimes you do need a reservation for some of these restaurants, especially in these big cities where like there's a lot of fancy restaurants and that stuff. So you may want to check that kind of stuff out too. But yeah, there's usually around conventions, there's a lot of really good places to eat. So honestly, walk around, check out the city and just wander around and just see where you stumble upon. I feel like that's just like the better experience, honestly, for like eating out at like conventions and stuff. Walk around, just kind of just discover things, honestly. It makes it more fun that way. And of course, if you're a cosplayer and you want to like go to like a big group thing or whatever, they're usually at conventions on their website. They usually have a list of like official meetups that they show. Just look up the meetups if there's like a certain genre or anime, game, that kind of stuff. Like if there's a meetup for that happening, just add that to your schedule too. Make sure you can show up. Yeah, you'll just be at a meetup. Usually they're just held in like a room at the convention or outside or something. It's a great way to meet new friends that are interested in the same things as you. And yeah, just a huge opportunity just to meet new people, honestly. And also, if you're a cosplayer who's looking to like grow your following, I recommend looking at making business cards. I use Vistaprint for mine. I just made these actually like a couple months ago. Now, these are more like stand-in business cards because like I plan to get like better ones whenever I get more professional photos done at Otakon here. So yeah, this is just a stand-in. Got all my socials on there, which you should totally follow them by the way. That would be great. And yeah, it's just an easy way to give to people who want to take photos of you. You just give out the cards to them so that way they can tag you in a post, follow you, that kind of stuff. So it's a great way to make connections and it's a great way to grow your following. They're real, and business cards are pretty cheap to produce too. I'm pretty sure like for 100 of these cards, it was like $20. It's not expensive at all. And just make sure you're taking plenty of breaks because conventions, they can be very, very exhausting. So make sure you just find a place, sit down, chill out, maybe have a snack or something and just kind of relax because walking around for hours on end, it gets pretty tiring, honestly. Like just take care of yourself in all honesty. Yes, conventions are fun, but you don't want to destroy yourself. Yeah, convention's pretty much over. You got your stuff in your bag because you packed your stuff in as you were done using it. And now it's just time to go home. Now you have a bunch of merch. So basically, this is where your extra bag comes in. So make sure that with your bag, you didn't bring a whole lot of stuff in it and most of it was in your and then most of it was in your check baggage. Because the more space you have on your carry-on bag, the better. So that way you can fit like whatever merch you got and stuff like that in the carry-ons. So that way you don't have to put as much in the check because one, you might lose your check baggage and then that might be a whole problem. And you may not just have enough room for stuff in there. So make sure that your carry-on bag has enough room to store stuff after you get stuff. So that way you can comfortably bring it back on your flight if you're flying. And yeah, you just went to your very first convention. Congratulations. Congratulations. So if you found this informative, give it a like or subscribe. If there's anything I missed, anything I was wrong about, you want to correct me on because I want to make sure if I said something wrong that it gets cleared up. So just have any questions, concerns, or like anything like that, just go ahead, leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer it. I check comments like all the time. And while you're at it, maybe just follow me on Instagram, Twitter, that kind of stuff. I got community posts now, so that's pretty epic. And yeah, follow my Twitch because I plan on streaming on that sometime within the next 2 years. So that's also cool. And I got Discord community down below. So So if you want to chat, chill, hell, even ask me questions on there. You can join that. Join the Femboy Army. We're growing. We're at 534 at the time of recording this. So we are growing very, very strong. It's only been like less than a year, so we've gone so far in less than a year. I'm very proud of this community. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video when I take a rubber chicken and I use it as practice to doing your mom. Okay, love you. Goodbye.
They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these shit I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like